a video on keto-friendly mincemeat tarts, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to do the actual tart part of it because I'm on day 4 of a very, very bad back spasm that's making it difficult for me to breathe, which means it's difficult for me to sit, to stand, to lie down, to do all of the things that I would really enjoy to do pain-free. So we're going to make the mincemeat and just kind of go with that. I would tell you more about mincemeat, but my brain is kind of right now, and I'll talk about it in my blog post, which I hope I can write today as well. So yeah, this weekend was not fun. I spent pretty much most of Friday night and Saturday night sleeping on the bathroom floor because it's hard as a rock because it's tile, and that actually made it so that I could at least breathe somewhat. Plus it put me closer to the toilet in case I had to, make offerings to the porcelain gods. So that's a lovely thought, isn't it? Yeah, I'm so excited. This is the content that you come here for. So anyway, what we have going on here, I got this recipe from All Day I Dream of Food, which is a keto lifestyle blog and recipe repository. And I really liked the way it was put together. I liked the ingredients that were going into mincemeat because, fun fact, I don't actually like mincemeat. Like the stuff that you buy at the store, I don't like it. It's not tasty to me. It's very sweet and just ew. I don't want to deal with it. But this recipe makes 2 cups of mincemeat. If you decide to do the tarts that this recipe is for, you will use 1 cup of your mincemeat mixture for 24 mini tartlets. So that gives you at least an idea of what's going on. So for this recipe, you will need 1 cup sugar-free dried cranberries, half a cup of walnuts chopped, half a cup of swerve sweetener or allulose or whatever sugar substitute that you prefer to use, a small apple finely chopped, or in this case, I'm using a chayote squash finely chopped because I like squash. Then we have a 1/4 cup of golden raisins chopped, a 1/4 cup of coconut oil. We will use the zest and juice from a lemon, the zest from an orange. We will need 2 tablespoons of ice cold water, 2 teaspoons of molasses if you want. It is not required. I like blackstrap molasses, so that's what I use. And then you will need cinnamon, cloves, ginger, and nutmeg for the spices, and then 3 tablespoons of brandy. So I'm gonna go ahead and get everything prepped up to go. We'll be filming back here obviously on the stovetop because that's what you have to do in order to make mincemeat. And then it goes in your refrigerator and it marries and gets all happy and such. And if you're making the tartlets, while you're refrigerating your mincemeat, you can roll out your dough for your tartlets. You're going to use a 2.5 inch round cookie cutter and cut out little discs, and then you put those into your mini muffin tin. Once you get your 24 rounds cut, you'll still have some leftover dough, and that'll be good to make little shapes or whatever to put on top of your tartlets. But you're going to freeze the tartlets for about an hour before you even start putting mincemeat into it. You're going to use a tablespoon of your mincemeat into your tartlets, and then you're going to bake them in a 325 degree oven. Oh, I'm sorry, you're going to use 2 teaspoons of mincemeat, not a tablespoon. So 2 teaspoons of mincemeat per tart, and you're going to bake them at 325 for 18 to 22 minutes, and then you're going to let the pan cool for 20 minutes before you start taking them out of the pan because they're going to be kind of fragile because there's no gluten in them. Hooray! So anyway, we're going to go ahead and get everything reframed here and start going to town on our mincemeat. Okay, so let me adjust the camera here. Ooh. Okay, there we go. So basically, this is the easy thing. You just put everything in here. So we have our chayote, we have our dried cranberries, our raisins, our walnuts, quarter cup of coconut oil, half a cup of swerve. Oh, what else is in here? The zest of one lemon, the zest of one of the oranges I have, the juice from said lemon, 2 teaspoons of blackstrap molasses, and that's actually optional. That's more for color than it is for anything aside from that. Then we also have some water, some cinnamon, some ginger, some cloves, and some nutmeg. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this on to a medium flame. And we're going to stir this around so that everything gets mixed together. But you want to let this simmer for about 15 minutes once your coconut oil melts and everything is blended together, because you want to dissolve your sweetener completely in this. So it's going to take a little bit to come up to a simmer and all, but once it does, you know, then you have 15 minutes of just kind of babysitting it to make sure everything is mixed together. So I'm not going to stand here for 15 minutes and talk at you, mostly because I don't think I can stand for 15 minutes. We'll see. I wanted to also mention that this recipe, the reason, I mean, come on, we know that I like alcohol and I like to make alcohol and I like to drink alcohol and cook with alcohol. So this is one of those recipes that's really fun for me, because there's brandy that goes into your mincemeat, and then this particular thing, if you decide to do the tarts, there's also a hard sauce that goes over top of it when you serve it. Not gonna make that because not entirely certain I'm going to be able to finish making these tarts until like much later in my week. So again, we're just doing the mincemeat, and I'm sorry that that this video isn't going to be more entertaining or more informative than this. Really, this is what I got. I'm so sorry. Okay, so this is all cooked together, and now the fun part. And that is opening the bottle of brandy. Yes, I'm so good at this. It's opening the bottle of brandy so that we can pour in 3 tablespoons of brandy. Now, if you are alcohol adverse, obviously don't use brandy. It's gonna be one of those types of days, friends. We'll be right back. Crisis averted. Hooray for cameraman Ken. All right, so 3 tablespoons of brandy into your minced meat. So 1, 2, and 3. All right. Ouch. Now, we're going to stir that in. And make sure it's nicely mixed together. It adds a very wonderful aroma, and it is quite boozy smelling, so be aware of that. Okay, once we get all of that mixed together, we take our jar. Remember, I said that this would be 2 cups of mincemeat, so you want a jar that's larger than 2 cups. I think this is a quart jar. And you're gonna just scoop your mincemeat into your jar. If I was smart, I would have grabbed a canning funnel, but I was not smart, so just kind of feeding it this way and hoping that I don't burn my hands. But that's pretty much the mincemeat part of it. And this will sit for at least an hour. The longer you let it sit, the better the flavor is going to be. So, you know, keep that in mind. But you're going to let this sit for at least an hour, because at this point is when you would be doing your, making your tartlets to put the mincemeat in. So mine is going to sit for a couple days, I'm sure, but that's okay. So you just, like I said, want to get all of that in there. Now, I did decide that I was going to show you how to make the hard sauce to go with your tarts. That'll just give me incentive to actually make the tarts later in the week. So, get this stuff in here. There we go. All right. Now that's out of the way. So, and then I'll put a lid on this and it's good to go into the refrigerator. So in the meantime, hard sauce. Swap my brandy with my rum. Okay, so you will need a quarter cup of butter, softened, and 3/4 of a cup of powdered swerve, confectioner's swerve, basically. And you're going to combine them together into a bowl, and you are going to cream them together. And I am probably using the way wrong tools for this, but I don't care. So we're gonna try to do this without making too much of a mess. Not gonna happen. This is just gonna be a mess. So, and of course I'm wearing a black shirt. So I'll be back once I do this and figure out how to do this less messy. And then we'll go from there. Okay, so I resorted to my KitchenAid to do the creaming together of the butter and the swerve. So now I'm gonna add a tablespoon. The recipe says dark rum. I'm actually allergic to dark rum, so I'm using white rum and adding that in there and letting that all cream together. Then I'm going to put it back into the container that I originally started with, and then that will go in the freezer for, again, about an hour. You would serve a dollop of this on top of the tart when the tart is warm. So that's pretty much all there is to that. So I hope you guys enjoyed that video. We have our mincemeat here ready to go into the fridge, and our hard sauce topping, which by the way is delicious. Really like this. Could use that on just about anything, I think. It's very sweet. It has the boozy flavor. It's really good. So that's pretty much it. I'm really sorry I'm not making the tartlets, the crusts and such, but I'm starting to not be able to breathe, and I like breathing. So go ahead and hit the thumbs up button if you liked it, hit the thumbs down button if you didn't, leave me a comment either way, and let me know what you'd like to see on the channel in the upcoming new year. This channel is almost 1 year old, believe it or not. So I need to come up with something to do special for the 1 year mark. Make sure that you subscribe and hit the notification button, and that way you're aware of when all my videos come out and you can watch them. Remember, I do have a blog. It's kwos-food.com, and there will be information about mincemeat in the blog, theoretically, if I can get it written today. And the blog comes out the same time as the videos, so I mean, you can get all your info in one spot, so to speak. But that's really all I can do today, at least at this moment, because the Tylenol just isn't cutting it anymore. So, yeah. And I've tried everything. I mean, you can leave comments for other things for me to try, but I can tell you that from Saturday night to Sunday morning, I had taken a total of about 8 Tylenol, 2 naproxen, 15 milligrams of cannabis, a cyclobenzaprine, which is a muscle relaxer that I was prescribed, and my gabapentin. And none of it helped. So, open to suggestions. We'll see you next time.